Alright, so I go by Truth or TruthX. I noticed in my previous videos I wasn't really giving an introduction, so I'm gonna do it for this one. I titled these videos Exchanging Thoughts because, you know, there was like a plethora of like information, thoughts that was put out to the universe that I find, you know, helpful for me. Information that resonated with me, you know, advice that was given to me either by people I knew directly or information that I used from people that was given to me indirectly. So to complete the transaction, this is me putting my thoughts, my interpretation of information, some of my original thoughts back out into the universe, continuing the cycle of information. So the title of this video is asking the right questions. I believe it is helpful for us to learn how to ask ourselves or others the right questions. So in therapy, my therapist, he would ask a lot of questions, you know, making like it's less of him asserting his own opinion of what he think my problem is, but to help me myself investigate, resolve, or, you know, find a genuine answer to a problem that I might be having. And in my opinion, what makes a great therapist is one that have the ability to ask the right questions. And I feel like we should set those same standards for ourselves when dealing with ourselves or dealing with other people. So in school, you was either told by your parents or your teacher, don't be afraid to ask questions. But, you know, rarely have I, you know, if not at all, received the advice to use the method of asking questions to search for knowledge within myself, only to excel at academics. And neither have the advice been emphasized to be utilized in relationships. So my advice would be, if you're in conflict with either a spouse or a family member or co-worker, try not so, you know, be so quickly to jump to conclusions. You know what I mean? Ask questions, because asking questions can help solve problems. In too many instances, we are more concerned with stating our problem or stating our case instead of getting to understand the other person or understanding the situation in its entirety. And even if you think the person is in the wrong, you know, asking questions is effective, especially if both parties are making effort. You know, we gotta keep in mind that we don't understand everything. You know, we barely understand ourselves sometimes. So be gracious when in conflict with other people. You know what I mean? You don't have to be passive. You can be assertive of, you know, what you feeling about the situation. And trying to collect the understanding don't mean accepting someone's point of view. It don't mean, you know, surrendering yourself, but it means to, like, you know, understanding the situation could help you better maneuver through it. You know what I mean? And be gracious when in conflict with yourself. So an example I could give when making assumptions can cause or lead to like unnecessary negative emotions is an experience I had waiting a table at this restaurant I used to work at, right? So, you know, we got a lot of bougie, you know, difficult customers. So you categorize people, you know, approaching each table with caution. So as I'm approaching this one table, you know, I'm going over my usual lines. Good evening. Is everyone ready to place their order? You know, so, you know, as I'm walking up and I'm going over those lines, the chatter of people talking stopped abruptly, you know, and everyone was sitting up straight. Every last person was sitting up straight, looking forward very intensely, not making eye contact with me at all. So I assumed, it was clear to me that, these people was very disturbed by my presence. They was very uncomfortable with my presence. So they proceed with placing their orders, and they all remain in the same position as if it was rehearsed. Looking forward, sitting up straight, very intensely. So, of course, I thought, you know, these people are racist, uppity individuals who were sending me, which I thought was clearly bad vibes. But as I start walking around the table to collect the menus, I noticed canes laying on the floor next to each person. These people was blind, and they was listening very intently because of that. I totally misread their body language, you know? I misread the situation. So yeah, I feel as though the world would be a better place if we just understand each other more, understand situations more, understand ourselves, and don't be so quick to jump to, you know, make assumptions. A book that I would recommend everyone to read is The 4 Agreements. The 4 Agreements are: be impeccable with your words, don't take anything personal, never make assumptions, and always do your best. See, as kids, we are domesticated to take on this certain narrative about reality that was passed on by the adults and made it our own. So the 4 Agreements is 4 new agreements that you could take on in your life that could benefit you greatly. The lady who gave me the book, she actually ended up, you know, committing suicide. So that situation taught me that it's not about how much the information resonate with me. It's not how much how relevant the information is for me in my life. It's about me having the discipline to apply it. You know what I mean? It might seem simple, but it's something that I know I definitely struggle with, is applying the knowledge. You know what I mean? So, you know, analogy that I could give to kind of put that into perspective is, you know, like purchasing a playground set for your kid. You know, you get an instruction manual that come with it. You could stare at the instruction manual for however long you want. The playground set won't assemble itself until you apply it yourself. So you could look at the playground set as your life. You know what I mean? Until you apply the information that you get from these different instruction manuals, you won't be able to enjoy it. You know what I mean? So getting back on just asking ourselves the right questions. It's important, you know. Whenever you find yourself in a toxic relationship, ask yourself, why am I allowing this mental, spiritual, physical abuse? You know, what will my life be like if I decide to leave? You know, why am I allowing this negative self-thought to repeat in my head? What would change? What would be different if I start being more impeccable with my words? You know, asking yourself the question, who am I? A very important question. I feel like a lot of us go through our lives with unresolved issues because of the lack of curiosity for self, or not asking ourselves the right questions, searching for the answers in all the wrong places. You know, so as you're on your journey, you know, use the method of asking yourself questions, you know. And something else I would, you know, some advice that I'll give is like, try to be as authentic as possible, you know, as authentic as possible on your journey, truthful as possible. You know, when I'm applying those principles in my own life, I get glimpses of, you know, freedom, you know what I mean? And I know I could get a larger amount of that freedom the more I start applying myself. So thank you for watching this video. As the viewership grows, you know, or even, you know, the amount of people that are watching it now, you know, if you want to continue this exchange, just, you know, comment below the video, share it, like it if you like the content, if you like the production around it. I really like what I do, and I love sharing it with other people. I love sharing my thoughts. So yeah, meditating till I turn to Buddha. Dropping jewels, I don't need a jeweler. Mama told me talk less, I should've listened sooner. Took my anger out on people that never deserve it. Got a God in me I never worship, now I strive for perfect. Pace myself, I got a marathon to run. Marijuana filling up my lungs, I get higher from my conversation. Tell her stuff I never thought to tell a nation. Daydreaming my vacation, working, manifesting my imagination. I was patient, I ain't say shit. Then I pop up out the blue, so amazing. Came so far from a different world, I orbit a different star. I ain't even warned them niggas about this part. Play a role or shit could get dark. I'm a genius, he thought he was smart. Yeah, painting pictures, you envy my art. No Sharpie, I'm making my mark permanent. Yeah, they say they making moves, I'm not concerned with it. I got better things to think about, got people to feed. I know people in cages, outsiders, it's a dream. I got freedom, I got so much to achieve. Yeah, say the mouthful, coming head first, I ain't bold, I'm a bold nigga, check the scoreboard, true.
Green, green, green.
Fast and furious, relationships precarious. I'ma make history, make sure that y'all remember this. Everybody talking, everybody just won't make it. Yeah. All eyes on me, all eyes on me. Yeah, yeah. This shit get real, this shit get deep. I play for keeps. Yeah, I stay in my lane, don't dirty my street, don't salt on my name. Why don't you feel me? Yeah, why don't you feel me? Yeah, watch me prosper, trying to follow my steps. Getting stronger now, I'm up in my reps. Right-handed now, shooting my left. Well,